This is Brew Crime News.
Your daily news, once monthly. Here are your hosts,
JT
and Mike.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brew Crime News, where we deliver your daily news monthly. My name is Juggling Twinkle Toes, and I'm here with my co-host.
Mike the Mammoth. I don't know.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Well, we're here to bring you some crazy news. We searched the dregs of the internet, and by that I mean Reddit, so you don't have to. So we're just gonna jump right on into it. It's been a crazy week.
It has.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
So a 24-year-old woman in the U.S. recently shared a bizarre, that's right, bizarre, it's not even a pun, I just mispronounced it, travel ordeal, claiming that American Airlines permanently banned her from flying due to alleged inappropriate behavior on a flight, despite her asserting the accusation is unfounded. Now, she posted a video. In the video, she recounted the moment she was barred from boarding her flight to New Orleans for her sister's bachelorette party. The gate agent looked nervous and said, "Ma'am, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but you've actually been banned from flying American Airlines." Shocked by the news, she insisted she'd done nothing wrong. Now, despite her efforts to understand the situation, the gate agent remained tight-lipped, citing internal security issues. She said, "I was confused, frustrated, and overwhelmed, but I was determined to make it to my sister's celebration." She left with no other option. She had to book a flight on another, she had to book another flight for $1,000, hoping to resolve the matter later.
Holy shit.
12 days later, she received an email revealing the reason for her ban: alleged sexual activities with a man in the airplane's bathroom. The accusation baffled Wright because she is openly lesbian. She said,
Oh
quote,
my.
"I am a 24-year-old lesbian. You see me. Am I having sexual relations with any man? No." She was determined to clear her name. She sent an email to American Airlines, humorously yet seriously explaining her situation. With her mother's support, who also contacted the airline, she was removed from the no-fly list. However, the true identity of the alleged Mile High Club members remain a mystery. Although relieved to be able to fly again, Wright was left out of pocket, having spent $1,000 on an alternative flight. American Airlines did refund. Yeah, they did refund her initial $400 ticket, but offered no additional compensation. But there's
but fuck them.
Right, there's a financial silver lining despite the turmoil. In a follow-up video posted on August 11th, she revealed that the views from her viral TikTok video helped her recover the money she lost.
Nice.
"I made pretty much the exact amount that I lost, so American Airlines doesn't even have to make this right." As of her last update, Wright indicated that she had not received any further communication from American Airlines, but hinted at potential future actions. "I'm just really grateful for all your help and for blowing that video up because it took a lot of stress off me financially. I love it."
Me too.
It's like, I'm on it for what? With a who?
Yeah.
No.
I've only slept with, I've never done that on a plane.
You can't 69 in a plain bathroom. It just doesn't work. So
it would be really hard to flip someone over once they're in.
It would. It really would. And then somebody accidentally hits the button and then you get stuck on the toilet and it's just not good. And
hit smoke detector.
That's a real effing story. I'll have to tell you that one later. Not for me, but for somebody else. In the worst of places, I promise you. Sorry, everybody. You're just going to have to deal with not knowing what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's already in the washroom, so pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad. So there you go. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this one's less funny. Oops. All right.
I'll make it so.
I don't know if you will. Ottawa calls for a probe into demolished Canadian water treatment plant in Gaza.
won't make this one into anything funny.
Canadian government is assessing the damage at a demolished water treatment plant and facility in Gaza that it built 25 years ago, while asking Israel for a full and independent investigation into what occurred. The country's international development minister says, "We've expressed our concern to the government of Israel, and we're calling for a credible, independent investigation into what happened at this particular facility," said Ahmed Hussein to CBC. Quote, "Any damages to structures that provide much needed water and other supplies to civilians is completely unacceptable." Social media video began circulating on the weekend of explosives being laid down at the facility known as the Canada Well in Tel Sultan, Rafah neighborhood. Video also shows an explosion leveling the well. On Monday, Israel's daily newspaper Haaretz reported the country's army, the Israeli Defense Force, I don't know about defense, was looking into the demolition. Haaretz's story circulated unnamed army sources in saying the facility was destroyed with the approval of the military commander, but not with the approval of senior IDF officers. In a statement, Israel Embassy in Canada told CBC News they were told that the request for investigation was still being processed and examined by Israel. So yeah, they just blew the shit out of a well that Canada built years ago.
That's insane. So we're gonna take you all the way to Prague. What a story! I've heard of escapes before, the Great Escape. We've seen prison escapes. However, the Czech Republic was not ready for this. Police are looking for a kangaroo who escaped from a prison near Prague. While two kangaroos escaped initially, one returned to the jail on its own. Representative Marketa Prunarova warned the public not to approach the kangaroo and to contact authorities instead. The animals, along with rabbits, llamas, and roosters, are part of a prison program that allows inmates to develop farming skills. I don't
Okay.
know, far from me to judge, but I'm pretty sure kangaroos aren't part of farming.
But they do look like they're a bunch of like roided up prisoners.
They do. And I think it's phenomenal that a kangaroo escaped. And if a kangaroo can escape, I'm quite concerned about the human beings.
Absolutely.
But I love the fact that they have rabbits, llamas, roosters, and kangaroos. And hopefully they're therapy kangaroos, where it's like if you go to them and you're like, I'm not feeling great, they just kick you in the nuts. And then they're like, see, you could feel worse. So
I
that's
think
all
I
for that
prefer
one.
therapy dogs.
Dude, that's all for that one. That didn't need much at all. So,
Whatever.
mhm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bring it down a bit again.
Oh
My
boy.
international news is less fun. Bangladesh protesters are not the first time student uprisings have helped bring about radical change. In Bangladesh, weeks of protests against a quota system for government jobs turned into a broad uprising that forced the prime minister to flee the country and resign. Demonstrations began peacefully weeks ago and were primarily led by students, frustrated with a system that they say favored those with connections to the ruling party. But it turned violent on July 15th, and student protests clashed with security officials and pro government activists. Former Prime Minister, name I can't say, fled last week after the unrest, during which nearly 300 people died, including both students and police officers. That's crazy. Students or other young people have frequently played pivotal roles in popular uprisings that have brought down governments and forced them to change policies. So here's some of the major cases. We got protests in Sri Lanka, like in Bangladesh. Widespread protests in Sri Lanka in 2022 were able to bring down a government, and youth played a key role. Athens Polytechnic uprising in Greece. In November 1973, students at Athens Polytechnic University rose up against the military junta that ruled Greece with an iron fist for more than 6 years. Military officials seized power in the 1967 coup, establishing a dictatorship marked by the arrest, exile, and torture of political opponents. The Kent State demonstrations in the United States. American students had long been protesting the U.S. involvement in Vietnam when President Richard Nixon had authorized attacks on neutral Cambodia in April 1970, expanding the conflict in an attempt to interrupt enemy supply lines. So yeah, it's just interesting. A lot of especially student-led protests have led to serious change in this world. Kind of
It's
cool.
true.
It is true.
So we're gonna go all the way to Harvey, Illinois. Um, there was a story that was reported about a year ago, and it involved a South suburban school worker named Vera Liddell, and she was the food service director for the Harvey School District 152. Cook County prosecutors accused her of stealing massive amounts of food meant for take-home meals for students learning remotely during the pandemic. And by that I mean she stole $1.5 million worth of food, mainly chicken wings.
I mean, I'm just still struggling with the fact that the United States had a food for homeschool or like during COVID homeschooled kids. Like you can't even like get politicians to allow paid lunches in schools.
They did that here actually. You could drive around and pick up lunch for those folks. Which is surprising.
It
So
is.
she entered a guilty plea on Friday. She received a 9-year prison sentence. Court records accuse Liddell of ordering more than 11,000 cases of chicken wings from the school district's food provider and then picking up the order in a district cargo van. The
So
scheme was
good.
uncovered by the district's business manager during a routine mid-year audit. Here's what I want to know. Why did it take until the middle of the year to notice this? Number one.
You think anyone does any checks and balances?
And number two, why isn't the district's business manager looking for a new job?
Right?
So, I mean, wing on, right? I guess. I'm just, it's a good thing it wasn't on the nose and happened in Buffalo. So, anyways, yeah, there's one.
All right. Well, let's bring it down again.
Jeez. We're gonna give people
All right.
whiplash.
I know, right? And by people, you mean me.
Yeah.
2 dead, 2 wounded in shooting over ongoing neighbor dispute in Stratford, Ontario. I didn't say Florida.
You rendered my mic speechless.
Nice.
First off, surprised it wasn't Florida, and then second, another layer of surprise that it wasn't the United States.
Yeah, exactly, right? 2 people are dead and 2 were sent to hospital with serious injuries after a man opened fire on his neighbors following a dispute in Stratford, Ontario on Thursday night, police say. Police received multiple 911 calls for reports of gunshots in the area of Bradshaw Drive and McCarthy Road around 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Police who arrived at the scene found 4 people with gunshot wounds. 2 of them died, and other 2 were taken by Orange Area Ambulance to Victoria Hospital, London, Ontario, but it's Orange without an A. 1 person had life-threatening injuries, and the other had life-altering injuries. On Friday afternoon, police said 31-year-old Ricky Bilkey opened fire and shot the 3 victims after being involved in an ongoing neighbor dispute. Blicky died of self-inflicted gunshot wounds, they said. So the area was closed for investigation. What?
It's like the Americans in the Olympics. It's pretty much what we did.
Yep. Police said Blicky used a high-powered rifle to shoot Jonathan Bennett, 36, after the dispute. Bennett was pronounced dead at hospital. Well, he then accosted a shotgun and entered onto the roadway where he shot the second victim, who is currently in hospital receiving treatment with life-threatening injuries. The two injured individuals were a 43-year-old man and a woman whose age was not given, who had exited her residence and was targeted and shot by the shooter. Police urge that online videos are removed. Police added they are aware of multiple videos of the shooting that have been posted on social media. Out of respect to the victims of the incident and the trauma that is caused to all people involved, we are asking those videos be removed, police said. I think those are actually trying to be removed so that it doesn't affect the criminal case, but okay.
Yeah. So, Hinds County, Mississippi, a Mississippi attorney was arrested on Thursday for allegedly trying to introduce contraband into a correctional facility. Hinds County Sheriff Tyree Jones announced Daniel Sidney Dale was charged with 2 counts of conspiracy and 3 counts of introduction of contraband to a correctional facility. The sheriff said Dale was posing as legal counsel for some Hinds County detainees and was allegedly smuggling cell phones and other contraband during visitations. During a visitation on Thursday, Jones said Dale was found to be in possession of several items of contraband and cell phones. He was detained, questioned, and then later charged.
Good call.
Here's what I want to say. This man, number one, should never, ever be trusted. I don't believe in judging people's appearance, but I'm judging this person on their appearance. I am about to send this to Mike, and Mike, I want your live reaction right now to this man.
He looks very surprised.
He, he looks like a lot of things.
Yes.
He is not somebody that I would want to trust my case to.
Or my nephew.
Right? He's like a C-list what's the lawyer from Breaking Bad? I can't
Saul?
remember his name. Yeah, he's like a C-list Saul. Also, if you notice on his shirt, you can see how hard he was sweating. Just saying.
I mean,
and
I'm
in
used to
addition,
sweating a lot.
yeah, I mean, he truly is surprised. Either that or the balloon of crack cocaine exploded in his butt. So one of the two. I don't know what, but if you click the arrow to go to the next picture, that's all the stuff that he was trying to smuggle in.
Did
It's a
you
lot.
ever watch the show Dead Like Me?
I've heard of it.
It's a great show where they're Grim Reapers, but they have to still get a job.
Yeah.
And one of them was a drug dealer, and he stuffed a balloon full of you know what up his ass. And
Yeah.
they were going through a airport, and the balloon burst. So he ingested all of the drugs that were up his ass,
All of it.
but he's a Grim Reaper, so he can't die.
Right. So he's just super high.
Super fucked up.
So
So
this
funny.
man, this is what this looks like to me. I'm seeing bags of weed. I'm seeing multiple phones and chargers. I'm also seeing bags of wraps for the weed for joints.
Uh-oh.
This is a lot of shit that he put inside of his briefcase. And
Yes.
I don't understand how he got that far, but
At least we're
here we
not
are.
talking about his briefcase.
Yeah. So
Yes.
he made his initial appearance in court the next day on Friday, August 9th. His bond was set at $75,000. And considering the look of his suit, I'm guessing he doesn't have 7,500 to put up in order to bail out. So
Yeah. I don't know a lot of people that do, actually.
that's fair. I sure as fuck don't. So so yeah, that was fun. Also, I am going to have nightmares about that man's stare tonight.
Yes, you will.
Forever. He's like, okay, so here, last thing. He is a C-list Saul mixed with an F-list penguin.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Not at all.
All right, are you gonna bring us down again?
Yes. All right.
I'm gonna go get a balloon. I'll be right back.
Right? A Cape Breton woman whose video defending a transgender rights advocate made her the target of online vitriol
Oh,
and threats as suing her cell phone provider and customer service agent. She alleges shared her number and home address with harassers.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the way around, boo.
That's a serious privacy breach.
Uh-huh.
So Rochelle McCormick said the bullying began after her video, which she posted on February 2023 on TikTok, was shared and criticized by an account with more than 7 million viewers. After this, the plaintiff became the subject of a harassment campaign by several individuals, some living in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom, reads in a statement of claim filed last week in Nova Scotia Supreme Court. Document alleges McCormick's name was posted on a doxing website with the purpose of gathering personal information that could be used to harass her. By August 2023, McCormick had deactivated TikTok, and she said the harassment spilled into text messages, including some sent to family and friends. The Glace Bay woman tried to escape the bullies by deleting apps and changing her cell phone number for a fee of $55. But the statement claims, a statement of claim alleges that one of the bullies was a customer service agent at McCormick's cell phone provider, Bell Mobility, who was checking her customer file for updates and passing the information along to people in private group chats. That's serious.
That's terrible.
It is. And there's screenshots of this person's messages. Oof.
Good grief.
I'm going to stop there, though. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Police were racing to recover candy, and 3 people sought medical attention. The police in New Zealand were trying on Wednesday to recover chunks of methamphetamine that a local charity accidentally gave out because it was disguised as candy.
Oh, my.
The fake candy distributed by the charity, I will not name it. You can look it up for yourself, but it sounds like it was a mistake. Looks like individually wrapped pineapple flavored boiled sweets from the Malaysian confectionery brand Rinda. They had been donated by a member of the public, according to Helen Robinson. They were actually small blocks of meth. Each weighed about 3 grams, packed up to each weighed about 3 grams.
Jeez.
And packed up to 300 doses of the drug, which is
Yikes.
what's insane to me is that it is quoted as being a potentially lethal quantity.
Not surprised.
3 people, a worker at the charity, a child, and a teenager, sought medical attention after tasting the candy. So thank God they just tasted it. But all were discharged. At least 8 families reported tasting the fake candies. Luckily, they tasted so bad that those who ate them immediately spat them out, minimizing the effects.
Nice.
But because of their high dosage, even a small touch or a lick could be dangerous and also reduce the effects of PTSD very briefly. I'm just kidding. They didn't add that part. I did. Also, I don't think there's actual studies on that. Anyways, symptoms of eating them could have included chest pain, seizure, hypothermia, delirium, loss of consciousness, a really good time. Also not in this article. I made that up too. They were attempting to recover all the candy. They launched an investigation. By Wednesday, they had recovered 16 pieces. It was unclear how many had been actually distributed, but they're taking it seriously and they're looking into it. So it's that's fascinating to me.
Absolutely.
It's that's quite the way to ship that.
So sand from the Sahara Desert causing recent lull in the hurricane season, which
All
is
right.
wild, right?
Go
And
ahead
actually,
and
I'll send you
explain that
this.
one to me.
This is an older picture, but they've got a picture attached to the article. I'll send you this. This is an older photo, but it gives you an idea what's going on. Tiny grains of sand from the Sahara Desert are to blame for the almost month-long lull in the Arctic Atlantic hurricane season, scientists say, but it could soon come to an end. Every June and July, there is a peak in the amount of dust from the North African desert that is lifted high above the North Atlantic by strong winds, disrupting the formation of tropical storms.
It it looks like Mother Nature gave the Sahara a good whack and just blew the sand across the water.
Yeah, lube that sand up for a movement.
You have no idea how long I've been waiting to do something like that joke. So thank you for giving me the
Yeah, that's
opportunity,
good.
sir.
So this annual phenomenon, known as the Sahara Air Liar, or SAO, hurled an unusually large amount of sand into the upper atmosphere earlier this month, according to NASA. Well, you can see it from the atmosphere moving from Africa westward across the Atlantic. Quote, says Fogarty, manager of the Canadian Hurricane Center in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Quote, hurricanes are not likely to form when you've got a lot of this dry air from the desert in it. No, the dry air prevents the buildup of tall clouds that are needed to form hurricanes. As well as SAO creates a temperature inversion, which means a layer of warm air remains over colder air, causing the clouds to spread out rather than to rise and form thunderstorms. And the strong winds that carry the layer cause the wind shear, which can tear storms apart, according to this.
I had a hard time following after you said dry air because all I could feel was validated for my comment earlier.
Yes. But yeah, it's wild to think that just, a couple like really bad dust storms mean that hurricane season was slow to start.
I know.
Wild.
I know. Just what a boner kill.
A breath of dry air.
A breath of a breast of dry air.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, you got the Sahara and I got the Antarctic.
Both are deserts. Both are
It's true.
deserts.
They both are deserts. A record-breaking heat wave unfolding at what should be the coldest time in Earth's coldest place has scientists concerned about what it could mean for the future health of the Antarctic continent. Temperatures since mid-July have climbed up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit above normal over parts of
That's
Antarctica,
crazy.
and unseasonable warmth could continue throughout the first half of August. The latest data shows high temperatures in portions of East Antarctica where the most abnormal conditions are ongoing. They're typically between minus 58 and minus 76, are now closer to minus 13 to minus 22.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. While that's cold, there's a lot that this impacts. Summer like heat in the dead of winter, even if much of the continent is still below freezing, is an alarming development because it could generate catastrophic sea level rises as fossil fuel pollution continues to drive global temperatures upward. Now, most of the planet's ice is stored in the Antarctic, and were it all to melt, it would rise the average global sea levels by well over 150 feet.
Jesus.
Even smaller features like the so-called Doomsday Glacier could raise sea levels by 10 feet if they were to melt, which coastal communities would be effed.
Yeah. F and the B.
Yeah, without consent. If it's possible, more heat waves like this will happen in future winters, which could leave the icy continent less fortified for its hottest season, summer, and more vulnerable to melting. Increased Antarctic melting could also potentially alter global oceanic circulations. Now, those circulations play an outsized role in making the planet's climate habitable. So there is a lot that can happen
and they're seeing those change right now. Like they're worried that current could collapse.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And this is not just the first time this has happened in the last 2 years. This is the second significant heat wave that it's endured in the last 2 years. During the previous one, March of 22, temperatures in some locations reached up to 70 degrees above normal.
Yeah.
And that's just unprecedented. It's insane. And so we kind of should probably, fix that or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Recycle.
100%.
I mean, I draw the line.
Exactly.
I draw the line at using a paper straw, but recycle.
Well, plastic straws are illegal here now, so
Well,
that's all we
listen,
get.
sir,
Unless you bring your own metal glass straw, it's paper.
this is America, and we like our petroleum products.
Except in Colorado.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. They bring their own paper
Yes, they do.
straws. It's a really funny consideration for them, considering Bobert. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. But it's a pretty democratic place in general.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's it today for Brew Crime News, where we bring you your daily news monthly. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can check us out on anything that is socials and medias with the handle Brew Crime. You also can check us out at patreon.com/brewcrime. Feel free to support us. And if you would like my direct PayPal account, I can give that to you as well. Yeah, so tune in next time where we report on the most ridiculous shit that should never happen.
Yes. So make sure to behave yourself or fuck around and find out. You might find yourself on Brew Crime News.
For all of the sources of this episode of Brew Crime News, head to the Brew Crime podcast feed. This has been a production of Brew Crime.